that the fact that he wants to do that as well and promote fights as well, I'm impressed.
What's happening with Lamont and Tank fight?
I don't get in the business on that side. You know, I'm just waiting for whatever they go through, get it over with and done. And when Tank called me, I'm there. You know.
What weight would it be at?
195.
Oh, wow. So he would go all the way from 40 to 95?
Yeah, I mean, it would be an exhibition.
Okay. But, and so what does that mean? Is that 3-minute rounds?
Yeah, 10 3-minute rounds.
And when you say exhibition, like, what are the restrictions on that?
No restrictions, just the fact that like we couldn't actually get it professionally sanctioned.
Joe Rogan has finally put his stamp on the madness that's going on right now in boxing, and in typical Rogan fashion, he didn't hold back. He flat out called Gervonta Tank Davis a coward for ducking Lamont Roach and chasing Jake Paul instead, and whether you agree with him or not, there's no denying that his take speaks to what a lot of fans are already thinking. After all the controversy with the Roach fight ending in a draw and people calling it a robbery, everyone expected Davis to run it back and prove himself. Instead, what do we get? News that he's fighting Jake Paul in a Netflix exhibition? You can almost hear boxing purists shaking their heads all around the world.
Netflix is in the business of making big fights, big events, things that millions of people tune into. One of the ways that they do that is they roll out Jake Paul. They rolled out Jake Paul against Mike Tyson. It broke Netflix. Jake Paul fought with Tyron Woodley twice. Big numbers. Jake Paul fought against Tommy Fury. Big numbers. Jake Paul.
The funny part is, Jake Paul himself leaned into the whole circus. He confirmed the fight after his manager tried to downplay the leaks, and then Jake comes out swinging on X saying Davis has been disrespecting him for too long. He compared himself to an FPV drone coming after a tiny tank, which is a classic Jake Paul line. Half funny, half trolling, but also clever marketing. He even doubled down with that David and Goliath comparison, saying he's going to take the life of David before going on to slaughter Goliath. Everyone knows what he means by that. First Davis, then Anthony Joshua. That's the show Jake Paul is selling, and like it or not, people are buying.
So this is not really about the competitiveness of the fight. It's cloud chasing 101. It's the two biggest names that will sign the same piece of paper to fight each other. Because Tank has knockout power, even though he's way smaller. You already know that Jake Paul's gonna like push this like, I'm fighting one of the biggest knockout artists in the game. And then Tank Davis, this is probably the biggest check out there for.
The rumors started swirling midweek that Jake Paul had lined up this massive exhibition against Gervonta Davis in Atlanta at State Farm Arena. At first, it sounded too wild to be true because Jake had been negotiating with Anthony Joshua, and by all accounts, that was close. Then his manager came out saying, sources have it wrong, and that could have been the end of it. But Jake, who never misses a chance to stay in the headlines, posted right after confirming it.
Tank Davis cannot lose to Jake Paul. And this is the fight we all want to see. You might say, what are you talking about? We get to see if Jake Paul's really like that or not. Tank Davis' legacy is on the line. People already are questioning Tank for ducking fights. You can't lose because if you do, you're going to turn into a meme because you lost to Jake Paul. So you're ducking fades and then you lose to Jake Paul. What are you going to do? Because nobody believes in you. Nobody believes in you. And for Jake Paul, you might say...
He even threw in the Netflix angle, saying the fight will be streaming live on November 14th. The only catch is that the date and venue details don't quite line up. State Farm is already booked that night with a comedy show, and Netflix usually does Friday fights, not Saturday ones. So it feels like even when Jake confirms something, there's always that chaos that keeps fans guessing. Many see Tank as a guy ducking the tougher fight for easier money, and to them, that's cowardly.
Up there and actually retire the sport because he's been, making claims saying that he's done and that he's about to retire. Basically, he doesn't want to do this anymore. And I feel like, he got the big fight, and there's really no bigger fight than this. There's just no bigger fight than this, bro. At first, people were saying...
Lamont Roach even mocked him after the draw, throwing up duck emojis and saying, "Told ya lol." Roach believes Tank was never planning to see him again, and honestly, can you blame him? When the majority of the boxing world, including names like Terrence Crawford, Sean Porter, George Kambosos Jr., and Claressa Shields all say Roach got robbed, what's the honorable move? A rematch. What's the money move? A Netflix fight with Jake Paul, and Tank chose the money move.
MMA fighters and all of that. When you go get an actual real boxer, for real boxer, who is a knockout artist, who is still in his prime, and now you put him in this exhibition, this just shows me right now that the sport is officially gone, and the only hope we have is September 13th, Canelo and Bud Crawford.
Ryan Garcia has been one of the loudest voices weighing in on this circus, and he hasn't held back. First, he said it's delusional to think Davis would balloon up to 195 pounds. He's right. Tank has spent his whole career around 135. Even at his heaviest, he's never cracked 140 in a fight. Now you expect him to step in with a guy who just fought Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. at 200 pounds? Ryan flat out said no way, and he even went further, calling anyone who believes it delusional.
Exhibition bout, it will not count towards their professional careers. The age is close. Jake Paul is 28, Gervonta Davis is 30, but the weight difference is massive. Paul has fought around 200 to 227 pounds. Davis dominated at just 135 pounds. Many expected Davis to fight Lamont Roach Jr. again, but instead he chose Jake Paul, a fight many say is more about money than legacy. Critics suggest Davis.
It's wild when you think about how far Jake Paul has pushed himself into the sport. Just a couple of years ago, he was the YouTuber turned boxer people laughed at. Now he's linked to fights with Tank Davis and Anthony Joshua, two of the biggest names in boxing. He already had that staged beef with Canelo, and now he's putting himself in a position where his name is in every conversation. People can hate him all they want, but he knows how to play the game, and the rules he revealed for the fight with Tank prove it. He said back in May that it would be at 195 pounds, 10 3-minute rounds, an exhibition because no commission would sanction it. That's basically setting up a fight where the odds lean completely in his favor physically. If Tank accepts that, it's a mismatch by default.
Who is literally 100 pounds lighter than him. Good job, Jake. Jake Paul is 235 pounds. Tank Davis is barely 130. Jake Paul also has 8 inches on him. Yeah, just another big name money grab, not a real fight from Jake Paul. Now, the other money grab doesn't like real fight guys, Tank Davis, famously refuses to fight anyone good. Has always been 3 other champions in his division, has never fought any of them.
Andre Berto has his own take, and his view is more about the business side of it. He said Davis doesn't care what fans think anymore, he's just chasing the bag. And honestly, that's the kind of comment that stings because it feels true. Davis has always had this aura of being the next big superstar, the pound-for-pound guy. But now, instead of building a legacy the old-fashioned way, by beating the best at his weight, he's stepping into exhibitions with influencers. To some fans, that looks like selling out. To others, it looks like smart business. But in boxing, once you start chasing money over legacy, people start questioning everything.
Everyone, because that's the only question I get 10 times a day, maybe even more. So, that's what it is, and that's what it's looking like. Again, we still haven't heard from his camp, like specifically when it comes to the business. So,
And that's where the controversy really lives. Hardcore fans hate the idea of Tank fighting Jake Paul. They see it as a freak show, a way of avoiding real fights like a Roach rematch or even a matchup with Shakur Stevenson or Devin Haney. But the casual audience, the Netflix crowd, they'll eat this up, they'll tune in, buy the popcorn, and cheer for the spectacle, and Jake Paul knows it.
You know, not wanting to overlook the pay that the turkey called and say you got your eye on Tank. What do you think about the rumors of Tank and Jake Paul?
Man, Tank disrespectful to the sport if he chooses that over fighting with me. I'm the best fighter in the sport. I've been telling him that, and he called cap on it. So if he won't call cap and say I'm not who I say I am, come prove it. I think it's dangerous for him to go back in there and fight Lamont. I think Lamont is a hell of a fighter.
Now you have to ask, what happens after? If Jake beats Davis in an exhibition, even if it's not official, he'll claim it. He'll say he beat one of the pound-for-pound kings. That sets him up even bigger for Anthony Joshua. Eddie Hearn has already said Paul is the frontrunner for AJ's return in early 2026. On the flip side, if Davis somehow manages to beat Jake, people will still call it meaningless because it's an exhibition at a crazy weight. Either way, Tank's reputation with hardcore fans takes a hit because he still hasn't settled business with Lamont Roach.
Against boxing. Maybe right. So. I just hope we get the Shakur fight before that moment. So for me, that Tank fight, I mean, as I understand it, Tank's fighting Jake Paul, which is the most bizarre thing ever, but I'm sure it'll do massive numbers. And I don't know.
Lamont Roach's father hasn't bothered sugarcoating his disappointment when he spoke out just hours after the Tank Davis versus Jake Paul fight was confirmed. For him, the frustration isn't just about his son missing out on a payday, it's about the principle. He told Fight Hype, Lamont pretty much said it all. Like the Roach versus Davis rematch is the fight. We wanted that fight. I think that's the fight the fans wanted. After a great fight like that, everybody was looking forward to the second bout, but unfortunately, things didn't line up as planned. So we just can't sit around and wait. We've got to move forward and continue our own career. We aren't in a position to just stay stagnant and wait for something like that to happen. That fight is going to be there, and hopefully it happens soon.
Ladder. But instead of giving us the rematch with Roach, he's going to fight Jake Paul. Now, this is where you have a chance to stand up as fans. Don't pay for it. Don't watch it.
Those words are heavy because he's saying out loud what so many people have been thinking. Tank took a pass on the fight that mattered. The rematch was there, the story was already written, and the fans were already talking about it. Instead, Tank went another direction. For Roach and his father, they don't have the luxury of waiting around forever. They don't have a Netflix deal on the table. They have to keep their careers moving. And that means, while Tank is chasing Jake Paul in Atlanta, the Roach team is looking elsewhere. Even though they know deep down the second fight should have already been on the books.
The Tank fans, they've been hating Lamont Roach because he's went on tour off a draw. I kind of think it's getting like disgusting. The way that he's big leaguing Gary Russell Jr. and the way that he's talking like, why would I do this? And like, you got to draw with Gervonta Tank Davis. Now you're literally living off Gervonta Tank Davis, bro. Like, no, you have a belt.
Meanwhile, Jake Paul is basking in the spotlight of all this. Ahead of the fight, he told ESPN, Gervonta is an angry little elf who has been disrespecting my name for too long. His nickname might be Tank, but I'm an FPV drone, and I'm about to disable him. Yes, he is one of the top pound-for-pound boxers in the world, but my motto is anyone, anytime, any place, against all odds. He didn't stop there. And I like my odds. First, I am going to kill David, then I will go on to slaughter Goliath, and you are all going to watch me do it, breaking viewership records again.
Problems in the last month or so and rumors about his retirement. I don't think it's a massive shock that he is taking this Jake Paul fight if it is going to go ahead, purely for the reason that it's a lot of money for maybe not the most difficult job that he's going to have in his career. So it's a strange one, but yeah, it's just another kind of day in the sport, really, isn't it?
He's already framing Tank Davis as just the first stepping stone, with Anthony Joshua as the bigger prize down the road. He knows how to push buttons, but he also knows how to keep fans tuned in, and that's why even when his manager, Nakisa Badarian, tried to play coy about whether the fight would be a professional bout or an exhibition, Jake had already locked the narrative in place.
This Tank is going broke because that's the only justifiable reason you ruin your legacy against a guy like Jake Paul. And yes, I do think Jake Paul is going to win. Tank Davis is a much better boxer and has crazy power, but he's 5'5", 130. That power is not going to carry over against someone who is 6'1", 210. And it's not like Jake is bad. Yes, his fights are boring. He says he's going to step in the ring and sleep his opponents, but the only people who end up sleeping are the audience. Mike Tyson fight.
Badarian admitted, "We're still figuring that out. Jake will definitely have to come down below his 200-pound weight that he's been fighting at. I can tell you that we're going to have a fight that will have a definitive outcome, whether by way of knockout or decision." That one line, definitive outcome, is important. It shows they're trying to reassure people this isn't just a glorified sparring session. But the reality is, the size gap is so extreme that fans are split between seeing it as a joke and seeing it as dangerous.
With Tank Davis MIA, Lamont Roach Jr. and Shakur Stevenson are stepping up to the plate. These two master boxers have verbally agreed to face off in what could be the fight of the year. Roach, fresh off his controversial draw with Tank, believes he's the best at 135, but Stevenson, undefeated and coming off a dominant win against Tapita, thinks otherwise. Both fighters are in their prime, both hungry for glory. Who will come out on top? Will it be Roach's experience or Stevenson's perfect record?
Tim Bradley didn't hold back when he reacted to the announcement. They're going to look weird in the ring. Jake is 200 plus lbs. The circus continues. "This is why I can't stand Jake Paul," he said. Bradley's take is what a lot of old school boxing people are thinking. It looks like Tank is stepping into a mismatch that sells because of names, not because of competitive balance. Bradley went further. It's a payday out of this world. Tank Davis is saving PBC. He even brought up how dangerous it could be. Tank Davis, forget about Shakur, forget about Abdullah Mason and these other guys. This is going to look weird. Looking at Gervonta Davis and Jake Paul coming in 40 or 50 pounds heavier, this is dangerous for Tank.
Man, I'm thinking about, Bigfoot versus Littlefoot. Andre the Giant versus Wee Man. Man, this is gonna be better than damn Circus on Lake. Yeah, they gonna look weird as hell in the ring together, man. You see how big Jake Paul is? 200 plus pounds? Man, I don't understand it. I don't get it. Yeah, the circus continues. This is why I can't stand damn Jake.
And Bradley isn't wrong about the size. 7 divisions separate them. Tank fought at 133.8 pounds against Roach in March. Jake Paul weighed 199.4 pounds in June against Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. Even if Paul trims down to the 180S, you're still talking about a guy 4 to 5 weight classes above where Davis has ever been. Plus, Paul is 6'1" with a long reach, and Davis is 5'5" at best.
Shout out to AJ.
But for real, cuz, come on, man. I mean, I get it. This a money grab. This a big old bag waiting for both of you. Y'all probably both cash in $3-4 million a piece off of this. Come on, man. Be for real, shout. 6'1", almost 200 pounds. Come on, man. 5'5", 133 pounds. Like, come on, y'all ain't even in the same bracket, man. You got this man by damn near 70 pounds and 6 inches. This ain't no real fight. Y'all really playing with my time right now. I get it, man.
It's the kind of size difference that could make Tank's normal style of explosive inside fighting extremely hard to execute. Fans remember how tough the Mario Barrios fight was for Davis when Floyd Mayweather literally had to climb onto the ring apron mid-fight to motivate him. Jake Paul has an even bigger frame and a longer reach than Barrios, and while he's not as skilled as an elite boxer, raw size and power can't be ignored.
I'll be down. Let's run it. I'll be super, super down. I don't know if
Gervonta needs Jake Paul. Let's be clear, right?
Is there a height limit in boxing?
While boxing insiders ripped the matchup, Spencer Oliver offered a slightly different perspective when speaking on TalkSport. He praised Paul for bringing in new fans, even saying, "What Paul's doing for the sport is brilliant in his own right. He's bringing new fans into the sport. He's doing excellent for women's boxing as well. You can't take that away from the kid. He's been working hard as well, and he's improving." But Oliver drew the line when it came to Paul's talk about Anthony Joshua. You look at that fight and go, who's going to sanction that? God forbid something happens to Jake. He called it a suicide mission for Paul. He compared it to AJ's knockout of Francis Ngannou, pointing out that even a powerhouse like Ngannou couldn't withstand Joshua. If Francis can't, then what chance would Jake Paul have?
Oh man, in the exhibition on Netflix? This the dude y'all said gonna beat it? Listen man, boxing fans, it's over with me. This is a 135 pounder in the prime of his career with a belt. He's a champion. This fighting Jake Paul? Boxing is over with. Top Rank ain't got no TV deal.
Oliver also gave his view on the Davis fight, and while he admitted the whole spectacle feels odd, he still believes Davis wins. I think Gervonta Davis beats him. He's one of the pound-for-pound best fighters in the world at lightweight, but it's a bit of a weird one, isn't it? You've got a guy of 5.5-inch eye boxing a guy of 6 foot plus at cruiserweight. It's just all a little bit odd. His solution? If Paul insists on these types of fights, pick someone closer to his size. He even complimented Jake's win over Chavez Jr. as the right kind of matchup, calling it a move in the right direction. But with Tank, he said flat out, that's just a little bit of a freak show for me.
It was just announced that Jake Paul's next fight will be against Tank Davis, y'all. And I find this very interesting because Jake Paul is 6'1", about 220. Gervonta Davis is 5'5", about 135 pounds soaking wet. I just don't know how that works. And for
he wrapped up his take by predicting Davis still finds a way to win. Davis is an active fighter. Like I say, still a pound-for-pound star, very heavy-handed as well. He should have the movement, forget the size, to be able to slip inside and take Jake Paul out. That's the reality of it. The strangest part is that everyone is right in their own way. Roach's camp is right to feel cheated. Bradley is right that the matchup looks bizarre. Oliver is right that Jake has done some good things for the sport. And Paul himself is right that people will tune in no matter what.
Between Tank Davis and Jake Paul, which looks like a circus fight. And now the Lamont Roach Tank Davis fight is totally off. I believe that this will hurt Tank Davis' career, and this will be another blackout for boxing. Y'all let me know in the comments how y'all feel. All right, peace.
Tank, stuck in the middle of it, is left with the tag Joe Rogan and many others just slapped on him, cowardly for avoiding the fight fans wanted most. Whether that word is too harsh or not, the decision to bypass Roach in favor of Jake Paul has changed the way people are looking at him, and that's not something Tank can erase easily. What do you think about the entire fight? Share your thoughts below and subscribe for more updates. See you in the next one.